if you clicked on this video, you're probably hard stuck in BO6 ranked, or at least trying to rank up a little bit faster. So let's go through 3 of the reasons you might be hard stuck and how you can fix them so you can gain ASR and climb the ranks quicker. Number 1, and this is a big one, you're not counting names. If you don't know what I'm talking about, counting names is when you look at the kill feed to see who on the enemy team has died. This is one of the harder things to get used to and to get good at in Call of Duty. You already have so much you need to look at in COD, right? You're looking where you're aiming in the center of your screen. You're looking at your minimap to see red dots and where your teammates are. You're checking your peripheral vision to make sure you don't miss any enemies that are running past you. And now you got to look at the kill feed. Well, yeah, you do, because this is one of the biggest things in COD, and one of the things the best players at the highest level do. Tracking who's died in the kill feed so you can identify enemies you haven't seen in a while is a very big and important thing to do. If you're looking at the kill feed and let's say you see 3 enemy names, but you don't see that 4th enemy name in a 5 to 10 seconds, that could mean they're flanking you, it can mean they're rotating, it can mean they're sitting in the back of the map and anchoring a spawn. And knowing these things and identifying the enemies who you haven't seen in the kill feed in a minute means you'll be able to get your gun up in areas where you might not typically expect an enemy, whether it be a ratty corner or, like I said, in the back of the map holding a spawn. You really don't want to get caught off guard by your enemies. There's nothing more annoying than running through somewhere where you think you're flanking behind your enemies and you get shot in the back by that one guy who's ratting it out in the corner holding a spawn. Track the kill feed and identify the enemies who you haven't seen their names in quite a while, and you'll be able to find them out on the map way better. The second reason you might be stuck at your rank is you got bad comms. Comms is one of the most important things in any multiplayer game, and especially in Call of Duty. Oftentimes, people have basic surface level comms saying, you know, I see an enemy here, or he killed me here, and those types of comms are good, right? Of course, telling your teammates where you see enemies is always going to be a good thing, but especially in the fast-paced nature of Black Ops 6, if you say to your teammates, let's say we're playing Skyline Hardpoint, he killed me bottom bed, by the time your teammate runs in there, whether that takes 2 to 3 seconds to get your trade, that enemy could already be back out through bathroom, going up flat stairs by that time, and they're gone like a ghost, right? They're Houdini out of there, because that's how fast BO6 can go. So those types of comms are necessary, but they don't always lead to actually getting kills or getting map control. What you need to start doing is calming what you're doing and what you're looking at. Many teammates, people I've queued with and people I've played with randomly in ranked play, the random teammates you get, don't tend to do this thing because it's like the next level of comms when it comes to competitive COD and when it comes to competitive gaming. Telling these things, right? Let's say you're hitting a flank, telling your teammates, if we're going to keep using the Skyline example, you know, I'm hitting through kitchen to try and get the grass spawns for P4 or whatever you want to say, right? Things like that. Saying what you're doing and where you're looking, or I'm sitting piano holding pool. Saying these things allows your teammates to, one, not have to as heavily stare at their minimap to see what you're doing, right? Because you're pretty much doing that already. You're already looking at your minimap to see where your teammates are and what angles they're holding. But it also allows them to know whether they're coming off spawn or maybe they're sitting in the hill, what areas they need to look at. So level up your comms. Don't just do the surface level. He killed me here, or I saw an enemy run here. Talk about where you're going and what you're looking at to better allow your teammates to fill in the gaps on the map so you can get better positioning. The third reason you might be getting stuck at your rank here in Black Ops 6, and this is very specific to BO6. The other two I feel like are specific to, can be to any COD, right? This one I feel like is even more specific to BO6, but can be used in any COD, is you're playing too fast, right? I said this earlier, Black Ops 6 is a fast-paced game. It's very easy to get caught up in the fast-paced nature of the respawns in BO6. This is the one that most often gets me, is I get caught up in how fast the game is playing, and I tend to die with my gun down, whether it be sprinting to get back to the hill or, you know, not having my gun up in areas where I should, and this tends to lead to staggered, uncoordinated pushes with your team. And contrary to popular belief, COD is a team game, right? I know we often, especially when you're queuing with randoms, you're playing solo and ranked, you can kind of think like it's a one-man show. I can pop a 2 or a 3 piece here and keep my team in the game. And sometimes you do it, right? Like sometimes you're going to get it, but eventually you're going to get to a rank where maybe you're starting to hit your ceiling or a spot where you need to get better. And playing solo is not going to be able to hard carry you through these games. The teams that win the most are the ones that play together. And pacing, whether you know it or not, or like it or not, is a skill, right? The pacing in the game and understanding this is the skill. Knowing when to go fast or slow down or when to wait for your teammates takes time to learn, but it's something everybody can do. And it's really tough because in the 3 seconds it takes from the time you die till the time you respawn while you're sitting in the respawn or watching the kill cam, you got to think about where you're spawning, how long it's going to take you to get back to the objective or whatever part of the map it is you're trying to get to, where your teammates are, how long is left on the hill or in the round, how weak the enemies are. All these things need to be taken into consideration before you make your next move. And so taking a couple seconds to think about these things rather than just spamming your respawn button and running straight away back towards the hill as soon as you respawn will often help you win more gunfights. And then sometimes slowing down and getting your gun up just leads to you killing more enemies. I mean, like I said, for a lot of us, we get caught sprinting. And if you just stop sprinting and get your gun up, the enemies might get caught sprinting into you, right? Everybody plays too fast at times. So if you just start slowing your game down and waiting for the enemies to come to you, especially when you have good map positioning, not pushing out too far, these sorts of things are just going to help you rather than running over and over and dying. And to bounce off of that, take note of where you get into the most gunfights, right? This one you can get really nerdy with if you want to go into theater mode and watch your own VOD, or if you want to watch the pros play the game, but think really heavily, like actually actively think about where you get into the most gunfights on each map and in each game mode. By learning and remembering these things, you're going to get your gun up more often, leading to you being more prepared for a gunfight. Take your time, think about where you get into gunfights, get your gun up, have your centering right, and when you're ready for these gunfights, you're going to win them more frequently, and ultimately in COD, the more kills you get, the more likely you are to win the map. So if you are hard stuck, or like I said, just trying to climb a little bit faster, think about these things, right? If you have bad comms, work on leveling those up. If you're playing too fast, slow it down just a little bit. And then if you're not counting names, this is one of the harder things I feel like to do in COD that people, especially at lower ranks, don't even think about. Start trying to count names. Very little by little, you'll get used to it. And the more you do it, the more active you are in actually practicing these things and being cognizant of what you're trying to do by counting names or having better comms or slowing down. Actually think about these things as you play, and you will get better, and you will eventually get to whatever rank it is you desire. If you want more rank tips on how to level up your gameplay here in Call of Duty, make sure to sub to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.